All right, welcome. Oh, wait, we didn't do it. You have to say action or it doesn't count. Action. There you go. All right, welcome back to the Pursue Vegas podcast. I'm your host, Dave Berlin.
And I'm your co-host, Tawny Wynn.
And I'm very excited. I'm always excited about all the guests we have, but this is the first time that we've had a guest that I have not met until today.
Oh my God! Out of the 50 people you know, out of the 2 million, you haven't met Tim.
The joke is that there's 2 million people in Vegas, and I know all 50. But 50, we'll make 51 for this case because you're doing some remarkable things. Tim, tell us about you and what you're excited about.
Yeah, so we actually created this really. I mean, I'm obviously biased.
Yeah.
This is the key to the city. So we actually created a loyalty program, but it's not really a loyalty program. Oh, I got to cut that. Yeah.
It's all good. We'll trim it.
Okay, cool. I can't use that word in Vegas. I found out.
Loyalty?
Loyalty is a very bad word.
Interesting.
Because the big guys don't like it. So it's
okay.
Like,
Maybe we'll just censor it to keep the mysteriousness. Like, what did he say?
They lose their minds. So yeah, so basically we created this really cool key. It's key to the city. It's a loyalty. Oh my God, I did it again.
Dude, that needs to be on the
We'll just beep it
blooper.
out.
Let me add context because Toronto, we call it a loyalty program. Mm-hmm. Here in Vegas, we don't because I did research and the big guys do not like it. So they have their own loyalty. It's silly because we have our own loyalty program and they have theirs.
Yeah.
They should be able, we're bringing you new blood, but they think it's competition.
Yeah.
And they don't want to speak to another loyalty program. But by telling them I'm VIP is key, it changed everything. So it's sort of this like, oh, you're a club. So it's different.
Very cool.
It's interesting.
Very
but
cool.
Anyway, I'll start over.
So we'll rerun that. So how do you pronounce your last name?
Gordanier.
Gordanier.
Yep.
Okay. Normal spelling. Okay. So
Yeah, just cut back at
we'll
that
just
part.
roll right through, and then
I love it.
so straight from the top.
Yep.
No.
F it. Right from okay. So Tim, Tim the man, tell us about you and what you're excited about.
Yeah, so we brought this really cool key. I'm obviously biased. It's a key that unlocks these amazing benefits, super exclusive experiences, and even a social kind of component where we create a social club behind it. It's a physical golden key. We went back to physicality. People that have the key will know. It basically is this. Like I said, a really cool key that unlocks these secret benefits, and it has a little chip on the back, and so every key is uniquely coded. There's only a set number made every year. The idea was to create the scarcity and make people obviously understand that it wasn't just for everybody, and that it was something special. So,
and if you guys haven't picked that up, he has a little bit of an accent that I was trying to figure out the first time I met him. So where are you from, and then what brought you to Vegas? I love it.
It's true. The Canadiana comes out in me.
Canadiana. Nice.
So I say a lot, and I definitely say sorry too much, I'm told. So
yeah.
it's definitely a thing. And I went through a drive-through last night. It was kind of funny. I went to McDonald's, and I was rolling through, and she's like, "You're a Canadian." I'm like, "How do you know?" I hear your accent. I'm like, really? We have accents? I didn't even, it's funny. People know right away.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever watch Trailer Park Boys, it's a little bit of that vibe.
Yes.
No,
Thank you. You know what? I like that. That's one of our greatest exports.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Trailer Park
And if you've
Boys?
never seen it,
No.
it's crazy.
If you go out east in Canada, so if you go to Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, where they're basing that out of, that's exactly how people talk. And that's exactly how it goes. It's hilarious.
It's funny because I tell people it's like The Office. It's like a mockumentary because they'll look at the camera. They'll break the fourth wall sometimes. But it's instead of being like an office in New England, it's literally a trailer park in
For real.
Yeah, in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's just the misadventures of these couple of guys. It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
So.
That's so funny. What brings you out here from beautiful Canada?
So I brought the concept because it worked really well in where I came from. So it started in Toronto, actually. So Toronto had the first key to the city in what we've created, and then we expanded to Montreal. So this started 10 years ago. So it's funny. We did that back there and still doing that now. And then we opened in Montreal, and then I saw the opportunity to come to Vegas, and I always loved Vegas. I came here with a lot of people all the time, and I was just sort of like, it'd be really cool to do a key in Vegas. It just seems fitting.
Yeah, like why Vegas? Like, why did you actually want to pick your stuff up and move to Vegas itself?
It's the city of, you know what's funny? Everyone tells me I'm from Canada and how friendly we are and how much they love Canadians. Listen, Canadians overall are pretty friendly. But if you go to Toronto, I don't want this to get anywhere, but Toronto could be friendlier. Let's just say that. So when I hear that, I laugh because I actually think Vegas is more friendlier than Toronto.
Really?
So I find maybe it's hospitality because it's so hospitality based.
Sure.
I feel
We
like
beat the Canadians? Hell yeah!
I'm actually saying that for real. At least Toronto. At least Toronto.
Interesting. That's
At least
cool. I
Toronto.
think it's a survival thing because we're all like out in the middle of the desert and we're just like stuck here. So it's just like,
Yes.
we're good, right? We're
Yes.
homies. Like you
Yes.
immediately become friends. So
Yes.
when did you get here? How long have you been in Vegas working on this?
Yeah, so we started this. I came in last summer actually to study the market. I spent 6 weeks. It was terrible. Living on the Strip is actually awesome.
Yeah. And hot. Yeah.
Phenomenal, right? And yeah, it was very hot. I'm like, okay, so I know I never want to live in Vegas in the summer. That was sufficient. So I'm kind of blessed that I can leave Vegas for a little while back to my sister city, Toronto, Montreal, because I have to, and still call it, doing what I have to do.
Right.
But yeah, summers in Toronto, I will say summer in Toronto is awesome. I love going back for that. But Vegas has the rest of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So we came here in summer, learned it, understood what locals wanted. That's when I kind of got an understanding when I spoke to locals. I came in here on my own. I just picked up and left and came for 6 weeks and said, let's learn and go out and have fun and just talk to locals.
Nice.
And then I found out, wow, F1's coming and a lot of locals don't like it. And I was kind of like I thought everyone would be excited about it, but it turns out they weren't. And then I'm like, okay, well, this is interesting. So I started talking and everyone was just saying how cool this key was because I had a working demo. And I started just kind of talking about it. And then we ended up having people tell me the spots that were hot and where people like to go and what they'd like to see. And I really get off on that. So I'm big on analytics and just I love people. So I guess I naturally just study everybody when I'm talking with them. I don't know. And then we brought it to life in November. So I moved back here in November, more permanent. And I was here until May, actually. We kicked off in February 1st. And it just blew up. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Apparently,
So-
VIP is key in Las Vegas.
What I love about the concept is, first of all, this is a very hospitality driven community.
Yep.
But there is a different local vibe than other cities that I've been in or worked through and scaled operations in. Vegas is very unique.
Yes.
And I really love what you're doing with the key. It's very similar to what we're doing with the show. There's so many people that talk about all the restaurants, and that's great. We're going to do that. But it's really about, instead of just the restaurants and the places, it's who are the people behind these things. So, flip the camera around. Let's interview the people that run some of these restaurants and things like that. The whole mission for the Pursue Vegas podcast is to connect the people of our city and show the world who we really are. As much as I never want to just say we're not going to talk about the Strip, it is a very critical part of what we do here, whether we're hosting friends or family or clients from out of town. But also, there are some places that are great. And I was looking at all the places that you guys have, phenomenal places. What are the partnerships and stuff like that? Like, what really inspired you to make that part of your model?
Yeah, thank you, by the way. We really wanted that local feel because it was built for locals and it was always going to be that way. And what was really cool was that we've been hearing the feedback. They're loving what we're picking, the spots that we're actually curating. Everything's curated, I should mention that. Cool. So we select the businesses. We don't charge our businesses for marketing. So that's another weird thing for a lot of people don't know that. But coming into Vegas, it was odd for businesses to hear we weren't going to charge them for marketing. And they're like, well, what's the catch? And we're like, there is no catch. We're going to send you our members who are loyal and they want to spend money and they want to go out, but they like being recognized. You got to give them that VIP feel. And who doesn't want to be recognized, be a queen or king? It's great. So we started choosing places like Jing, and that's obviously in Summerlin. We got all sorts of stuff. We got Esther's Kitchen coming on now from downtown. We have Lakuta on the Strip, but we really at Lexi's actually in Henderson. So we're just really trying to amp it up with the local scene. But part of the premise was when I spoke to locals, they really like the Strip, but they treat it like it's a carnival. or a fair, and they go once or twice a year, and because it's too expensive, and they don't want to pay for parking, and they don't want to. There's a whole whack load of stuff, but they want to go back. They really enjoy it. They want to meet tourists. They love tourists, and they want to go have fun with their friends down on the strip because it's got an energy. But the problem is it's too expensive. So the concept when we came in and we started pitching to places on the strip, which we've got a lot of on, my concept was I think I can bring locals here more often. So if I can bring locals here more often, would you be interested in being part of a program that could do that? And what would you offer them? And so that's when the conversation started. And I love it because we were actually talking with S-Bar at Mandalay Bay, and they actually brought me in for a meeting, a follow-up, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's not working, Anyway, I go in, and I'd heard people were using it there, but I didn't know. So we go in, and it was cool. They're like, it really is working exactly as you said. They're locals, and they're coming back more, and that's exactly what it is. Locals really, and we've been hearing the feedback, they like that we're letting them go back to the strip and be treated in a special way because they're local and they should be treated special.
That's great. Are you guys going to be doing stuff off strip as well and highlighting some of the local?
Yeah, that's what we're really growing out even more. So we've already done that, but in part, but we're definitely, our plan is to expand it further into the cool areas of Vegas.
Very cool. So what are some of the perks? If, for example, if you go to any of the places that are on your list, like on the strip, how does it work?
Yeah, so it's really fun. It's kind of like a John Wick approach. So if you're like,
oh, you have to do the officially now,
right? I almost have to. Eh?
Yeah, you kind of have to do
should,
it,
right?
Yeah.
So essentially, what happens is, first of all,
he's gotta look you in the eyes.
I gotta look you in the eyes while I do this.
Okay,
so this is our thing. So I'm actually officially giving you the key to the city of Las Vegas. I present to you, my friend. It literally will unlock the best of the city, and I welcome you as a key holder.
Very cool.
Doing this on the air, I usually do this a little bit more
that's
bravado
great.
on the backdrop, cool. And it's pretty fun though.
Look at that.
He's got the key. He's been keyed. The key.
Nice. Twinsies. Oh,
so if you take this key, you basically will slide it across to the bartender or to the host when you arrive at a restaurant for your reservation. And then the hosts in the restaurant, the bar, and all that stuff, they all know what to do. So that's kind of
so it's a different experience at every place. Very cool.
It's kind of like the speakeasy experience, but a little bit more like suave.
Exactly.
Like a James Bond.
Yes.
I love that.
I'm going to do that when I walk in.
And it feels like John Wick a bit because I always say John Wick because it's like a gold coin that he slides to the bar.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea, same premise, and it's fun, and people are loving that. It's just it's a cool experience. Again,
I can't wait to do it this weekend.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God, I have friends coming to town tonight too.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to take them around to a couple of these places.
Oh, it's great. And people are using that just for that reason. They're sort of like, Google used to be helpful. Yeah. I don't know if you guys think, but Google used to be like you could get your results on the first page. Now it's just sponsored fill up of whatever the heck is there. They're all paying for it, and it doesn't feel authentic, and people know that, and they've stopped using it as much, I think. I really do believe that. And they're getting bored of looking at where to go. So this program forces them, what's really fun about it is it forces them to choose places on the program, which we don't have a lot of. We're very picky.
Sure.
And each place recognizes them, so why wouldn't you use that? So they're using it as a passport of sorts.
Yeah,
That's
I love that.
Hearing.
No, I think that's brilliant. And I mean, in a city full of all the greatest restaurants, all the greatest experiences, there does need to be like a way to kind of weed out the ones that are just vanilla, right? I mean, and it's
or the one
so
that's
funny,
all hype. That blows up
Exactly.
Yelp or that blows up social media for like a month while their
Yep.
grand opening, but their product doesn't sustain because the customer experience doesn't have retention to it. Because people will go there once, pay for, whatever that meal is, and they'll never come back because they'll do it once, for the gram.
That's right.
And I love the brand identity around locals because people underestimate how influential locals are that's been here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if we tell 5 of our friends, it's probably a lot better because the conversion, if you really want to use like metrics and stuff, it's a lot higher than an influencer because there's I think for me, there's a lot of micro influencers that I feel like it's a lot more impactful because they're messaging the trust within the business community goes a lot further versus all these MAGA like huge influencers that now they're starting to come out with like fake followers and stuff, so their numbers are all blown up. So now I'm just like, I can't really trust you because you buy your followers, like you know what I mean. So that's
kind of what's
right
beautiful
there.
about this is that it's they know when they see the venues we're adding, they know by the quality that they're like, these guys are actually being picky and that we're not being paid by these advertisers.
Yeah.
We actually specifically chose them and they're coming from reservations activations. People that are on when you activate your key, you'll notice this when you do this. It'll actually ask you for your favorite spots. So we honestly take that data and start figuring out where do people want to go.
Cool. Our favorite spots that are on the app or the ones that aren't? Off. Okay, cool.
So that way I then have a list. So you start seeing a lot of, people saying the same thing. You're like, okay, well, that's a spot. We have to talk to that place.
So this is a lot of fun because, we just met today, but and Tawny's learning even more of this for me. Like I've had kind of a secret identity in the background.
Batman.
Oh, is that right?
He's Batman.
Oh boy.
No, but so I grew up in hospitality. I was in the wedding industry for a long time.
Okay.
I did 750 weddings all across the United States. Dallas, Kansas City, Denver, Indianapolis. Hung my hat here, DJing weddings. But I did a lot of consulting and coaching all across like catering, venues, photographers. One of the business partners that I work with now has a very specific, he's very high level at like one of the top 10 people in the world of pizza.
Okay.
And with that, he created a coaching program for restaurants. We have like 140 restaurants from around the world that are all like taking it to the next level, right? It's not franchise model, it's independent restaurants. And there's a handful that I favorite here in Vegas for sure.
Oh, I love
so
it.
I'll have to intro you.
I love it. I would love that.
I hope you like pizza.
I love pizza.
Yeah.
No,
Actually, it's one place we don't have on the program yet is a pizza place. And we're looking at a few right now off the record, but it's sort of on the record, I guess, now. We like a couple of them, but yeah, definitely on the list. I like Good Pie actually downtown. It's really good. That's one
Good
of my
Pie.
favorites.
They work
That's
with
someone
us.
that's going to come on.
Yeah, they just opened a new one over in Henderson as well.
Pizza Rock.
Yeah.
Love them.
Pizza
They're
Rock
a bit
is
of,
brilliant.
It's funny. They're a chain, but I find I don't know, the quality's really good there. I like
so
it.
Tony Gimignani was actually the president of the World Pizza Champions.
No way.
And when he stepped down, my friend Mike took that role.
Okay.
And took them to. We broke the record for the world's largest pizza party. There's a couple of pizza
party. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go.
the record was 1,046. We did 3,357 people in 15 minutes.
Holy shit!
That's all.
I want to be invited to that
That's a lot of
party.
pizza.
But yeah, so there's a handful of places that I'd love to intro you to.
I appreciate that.
That are definitely raising the bar.
I appreciate it.
but
Sounds
are
like you know
kind of
pizza
off
too,
strip.
which makes it. That's what I want.
Yep.
That's what we
Yeah.
ask for. And going to that point, we actually have our key holder socials, so that it's something that's not really it's advertised, but it's not advertised on the program. It's this social club we've started building around in a community of sorts, where
Yeah.
other key holders now basically we bring them out every 2 months and we pick a different spot. It's kind of like an Olympics now because now we have our venues that are calling us. We used to have to call the venues and say, "Hey, are you interested in
I
hosting?"
love that.
It's funny how that works,
Right? And now they're like, they're writing us going, how do we host your next one? I'm like, oh, that's cool. So we're starting to see traction. And I was actually at a fundraising event, Friday Foundation. I don't know if you guys know
Yes,
that.
yeah, with Tony Knight.
I love dogs. I'm missing my dog. She's back home with my parents right now. I definitely miss her. So, but yeah, we was raising money for a good cause. We donated a few keys for the cause. They raised great money with them. And I walked by a table and there's 10 people around a table and they yell my name and I look over and I'm like, hey, what the heck? And they're friends of mine now, but I met them through the Keyholder Socials that we host. And they met each other through the Keyholder Social. So these people weren't even friends before, and now they're going out together. So it really clicked with me that, oh my God, that's probably our biggest feature. The perks are cool. The experiences are really cool. The key is really awesome. But that community aspect, people need to get social again.
You could never replace that, especially in this city. We were talking about this with some of the other guests on the show. Pandemic affected this city in a different way than most.
Yeah.
And the way that the city has sort of come together since then, it has created a new opportunity for people to really build community here, and you get people that want that.
Yes.
So I love what you're doing. It's funny. I was checking out your site before you
I was
got
like,
here
I'm
today.
so excited for this partnership. Like, I have to tell you about it, right?
That was fun.
But I was looking, and on one of your posts, it was from like August or something.
Okay.
And Radio Heather was like, "What is this?" And then I looked through all the people, and like now she's one of your key holders, and I'm like, I've been trying
presented her a
It's
key at
so
Rouge Room, actually.
powerful.
A few days ago.
We've got a kind of a
She's a great girl,
wish
by the way. I
list.
love Heather.
Yeah,
Heather's
we've
cool.
got a wish list of the people that we want to have on the show. And whenever we came up with the second season, I put her at the top because I've watched her stuff, but we're always looking for like people that are from here, and that have been born and raised here. We're always looking for people that have come here from other places to bring their business or bring community. And then we're looking for those people like Danny J, who we had on before. She was from here and she left and then came back. So it's a really interesting intersection to see all those different types of people. But I've been a super fan of Heather, and I feel like she's just like, all right, bro, whatever. Like, I'm just thinking, no, really, we want to have you on the show.
It's funny. I met her only once, and that was presenting her the key a few days ago. But she has, there's something authentic about her. I like her. She's cool. She's real. She's one of the real ones.
That's great.
And you could tell by her posts, she doesn't have crap filler, and she's one of the good ones. It's good. But anyway, 100%. She's I definitely am excited to see her use that key.
I love it.
The power of proximity is crazy, right? Like, not just through partnerships that we work on building the relationships and really just nurturing the people behind the scenes and all the restaurant owners. And we have a bunch of like local, the people that people's never even heard of.
Yeah.
Or there's people that's not even a social media. Like, I think that's the epitome of like I want to get there one day.
Yeah, exactly.
But for now, while we're like socially active, it's just really fun to see how influential like the community is and what you're doing versus what we're doing. And I'm like, it kind of clicks one day. I was like, we need to be collaborating with people, because there's people kind of like what you mentioned with the big guys. They're always seeing us doing something in the community as entrepreneurs, and they're like, oh, those are my competition. I'm like, no, like we can get much further if we work together, bring our community together, because we have the same drive. We're going in the same mission to like get somewhere, to build community around this town. And I think that's the only impact that,
I feel good about that too. I love that. It is about helping, and it's good about supporting one another and local businesses. This is a small community. It's crazy. You don't want to burn a bridge here. That's one thing. I never burn a bridge. That was important in my life. I've always held that. Even when I got fired at a job when I was younger for serving, and I was pissed. But you got to keep professional, keep cool. And it's funny. He's now one of my biggest clients back in Toronto. He runs a restaurant group that if I had burned that bridge back then when he fired me for wrong reasons. Rick will know.
Yeah.
Rick.
We're going to send this clip directly to him.
Yeah. He knew. He didn't even want to let me go. He told me later, he's like, I did not want to let you go. And I'm like, I know. And it was funny, but you never want to burn a bridge. But yeah, it's a very small community. And I think that's part of the reason we've been so successful and so quickly, is that obviously the key's cool, and the perks are amazing, and the socials. But the businesses are really, I think, digging the fact our business model is very unique in that we're not looking to make money off of them. That's not our goal. Yeah. We don't make money off them.
Yeah. So same for us. I mean, like I've done interviews, for different restaurants and stuff like that. And for us, like, we just want people to see.
Yeah.
I use this.
Right?
Yeah, I use this as the example, right? For all the foodies out there, we love you, we do. But a lot of times, if you watch their content, it's like, hey, I'm this foodie. Here's my experience. I had this dish, and that's great.
Go here, use my affiliate link so I can make money.
Exactly, and that's okay. Like, to each their own. But I want to flip the camera to the chef or to the business owner, and what you'll find is a lot of times they have a crazy story that brought them here, but they've like perseverance, all those things, and they've got other things that are kind of brewing, or they have other things that they're excited about, and that's what really brings the community together. Like, agreed. I love this. It's like I feel like I manifested you into bringing this here, because my favorite thing is whenever I go into a restaurant that I love.
I love it.
And whenever people come out and visit, I love taking them to my favorite spots. Yeah, because they'll ask.
Of course.
But there's like when you walk in a city like Las Vegas, and people are like, Dave, like they know who you are. Yeah. Like they know you by name, and they appreciate the business and stuff that you bring them. That's the VIP experience. That's what this tea does without the name. Without the name. Yeah, you've made that a physical thing. Yep. I love how you use the John Wick thing too, because Marine Corps veteran. Oh, nice. We have coins. Okay. And we use those coins for lots of different things. But I've been given some crazy coins where I'm just like, I got one from the CIA, and I'm like, this is cool. Whoa! Like,
you know what I mean? We gotta watch what we say on this show.
But it's just really neat. It's really neat to see that level of like exclusivity. Yeah. So my question now is like, how many people have these, and do you create like a scarcity with that? Is there like a limit to how many you're going to release in the community?
Yeah, so we actually, there's definitely a limit. It's very important. So there was 2,024 keys made for 2024. and we got rid of them. I shouldn't say that. We moved them in September.
We hand selected all of those people very
that shit went like hotcakes.
Yeah,
man.
they did. They really did. I'm still floored that between February and September, that for a new idea that was not seen before to take traction like that, it was amazing. Blessed. But yeah, next year we'll be raising the quantity because they are a subscription model.
Cool.
Like I said, we're out of Canada, but we expanded it here, and the subscription model is important. It keeps people part of the community, and they get a new key every year, so it's a new design every year.
Cool.
And we're raising the quantity probably to around 3,000, 3,500. We're still toying with it.
Cool.
We're still keeping the scarcity. It's important. You can't let everybody have one. It just doesn't feel
I love that. I love that.
It's important.
So you're not like mass producing the idea of the whole influencer model. Right?
Even on the website, you'll notice they can't even get one right now. There's still people that have ordered going, well, when are the new keys arriving?
He's like, look what I got.
So is mine 2024 or 2025?
25. Yeah, you got the newie. You got the newie.
Very cool.
And that key unlocks for a full year once you activate. So
cool.
People who buy in January would actually get it till the next January. And if they buy in March, they get until the next March.
Cool.
The nice thing about our keys is that it does start when the clock starts with the NFC chip in the back.
Nice. Very cool.
But yeah,
I love that.
So the scarcity is really important. Same with the venues. Curation is key.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun. It's important that they know that we're not just throwing everything and anything on there.
Yeah, and I've seen.
How do you vet these restaurants and venues?
That's the tricky one. Is that it's between talking with locals and now it's key holders. So key holders giving us their feedback. It's been phenomenal. Yeah, and learning what they want. And you see where they're going. Like I can call my venues and ask who's doing the best, and we know where they're going, which is great. Legacy Club, Flight Club. You get complimentary dart play there every time you go in. You get your first 90 minutes for up to 6 people. You slide the bar right.
That's great marketing because there's some places that I see this happen often, right? And because I work a lot with these restaurants and stuff, we do a lot of dollars and cents, right? There's a lot of things that you can write off as marketing, but I'll be very vague about one place. Like they have an activation that you could do, but you have to pay for it, right? Yep. And it's like, it's not cheap. It's like $40 an hour or something like that. And it's in a great location, plenty of parking for where it's located at. But I'm like, if they just made that part free, everyone's going to come buy the food, and it at least like gets people in there.
Exactly.
Sometimes just removing one barrier, and it doesn't even have to be something that is a big profit thing.
Yeah.
It just be remove that one barrier, and it gets people, that removes the barrier for people to show up.
It's the recognition of being local, and especially when it comes to the Strip. Off the Strip, I know they're going to places that we have already, and they're loving it. Jing, like I said, there's a whole ton of stuff that we have locally. But when you get into the Strip, they just want the recognition. They want to feel like, listen, I'm not a tourist. This is my home. This is my homeland, and I want to be treated differently. Yeah. And that's okay, and should be that way. It's normal.
No, that's
why they're so against F1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they feel like they've been left out.
Yeah,
they like exploited during that week or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like we're colonized for a week.
Listen, I'm not a fan of F1, but I think it could have been done better. I think that they should have included locals more.
Yeah. And if anyone's listening, I'm just going to rant for a second.
I knew this would elicit this.
Fix the lanes on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's like you can't tell what's a lane now, and it's like it's part of its racetrack. And I literally just driving down the Strip the other morning, and there was not very many people. Yep. I almost hit 3 people.
Okay, I should not go there then. Like Mario karting in an Asian car.
Like you can't even see the lines. You can't see the lines.
And the amount of money they make, the amount of money they were paid by F1, and the amount of money they're making down in that area, that those should be nicely crisp painted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agreed. Exactly.
Oh,
just a little rant.
I haven't been down there in a very long time. No, that's
agree.
good. Like bringing up challenges and the things that you see here in this town, like kind of like our traffic issues that I just don't think it's ever going to get fixed. I guess that's what we're known for, is the cones and the crazy roadmaps of like you get off on this way and then it's going to take you an extra 26 minutes to go around the same street.
Driving's like George Costanza with his Frogger game.
Well, here's the other thing that I think is really important. You've nailed this. You've really listened to locals.
Yes.
And where organizations, let's say like F1, where they might not have. Here's the thing: is locals are going to be here for a long time. Even the people that leave.
There's a lot of them too.
We have a lot of impact. We have a lot of social currency to say what we love about this city.
Yes.
And like, somebody can go on and they can do big advertising and they can get tourists through the door one time or 2 times or one time a year or whatever. But what I believe about this community, especially as the startup culture and all that stuff changes, we're the ambassadors for this community to tell people what it's like to really live here, what it's like to bring your business here. And like there's going to be people that move here. They don't just come through the Strip one time and eat at one restaurant while they're here staying at Bellagio. They're going to move their business and their family legacy here, and that will pay dividends over time. That's going to be a totally different spike to the economy.
Yes.
And it's going to be relying on us, like the front lines, telling people what it's really, really about out here. So I love that you're listening to locals. What?
Yeah, we literally came in with that whole premise was that I'm not bringing what I want. This isn't about me.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what locals want unless I speak with them, right? So,
what resistance have you had? Like what kind of like just are people skeptical or what's been?
Is it too like
it's funny.
Hushy-tushy, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to be honest with you on this. As always, it hasn't had any resistance.
Cool.
I thought there would be. I actually thought there would be. I know that when we priced it earlier, we were much lower priced when we first came in as an early adopter rate, which was important. Because it's part of the phase, just making sure everyone who needs to get a key to learn about it, that they can trust in it. But then we found out that, through feedback that you're right. They would be like, well, is it real? Like, it's maybe priced too little. So then when we raised the price, it's funny how it just instantly,
people.
They wanted to pay more because they could trust it more in it. And it is logical. Cool. It's logical. The perks on there are crazy. Like some of these perks are $600 alone in one visit. You get 2-for-1 bottles at certain places. And like, it's crazy. Some of the stuff is insane.
I love it.
And we even have a strip club, and I love Sapphire. They're locals. I'm not a strip club kind of guy usually, but I've been to many strip clubs, right? Oh, I like
for
that.
business. Sorry, for business.
Of course. And, I spoke to locals and, in Canada, we couldn't get away with adding a strip club. So Toronto and Canada overall, it's very liberal in comparison. So putting on a strip club there would be very faux pas and you would scare away some business.
Yeah.
But here it just seems to kind of go with the city.
Yeah.
They know it. Women, men alike, they all like that should be on there.
So I have 2 questions and I might be pinning you down here. I gotta know.
I love it.
Is this going to get some pool access?
So it's funny you say that. So I love this. So we're actually, part of the plan in this whole thing was to create a pool access point where we speak with many of these really awesome resorts on the Strip and off the Strip and get them all kind of part of this cool club that we've created and open up to our key holders who can go and then use their pools.
I love it.
And I think that would be smart. I think
we got a couple in mind.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Who? Let me know. I want to know which one's your favorites.
Like for the locals, like the M is very hidden and it's very off.
Yeah.
So for the people that are selectively introverted or just like working like digital nomad style, like it's a very nice point, very nice place. That
I like the M.
You know what I mean? So it's just very off. We have a friend there, with Leon, like we're happy to set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing. Another one, I think Circa is great. Like I love downtown, and I know that certain parts of downtown are being revamped. So just things like that, like even the Legacy Club. Like I'm actually going there like tomorrow. So
Legacy Club's actually on our program already, which is an awesome place. One of our most popular ones.
Yeah.
You slide that to the bartenders, arguably some of the best bartenders in the city. They really are. And then you'll see. And then if you haven't been there, you slide it to them and they know what to do. It's like a secret drink for you and a guest. And
that's great.
It's really fun. But Stadium Swim is definitely on our hit list. They know we want it, and we'll make it happen.
They know we want it.
That's cool.
The pool pass is a great idea, and I think it's something that it's exactly what we wanted to create. And the other one we're working on, again, eventually, is creating parking's a big thing for locals.
Oh, yes.
That is the one thing we hear constantly as feedback.
And for me, even the ones where it's like free for 3 hours, like I'll do that all day. Like
I need more.
I literally go park on top of the Wynn almost every day.
Right.
I go down, have a double shot of espresso, and then I'll go for a walk.
It's logical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
nice. Great playlist.
Yeah.
Like I dig it.
I know where to find you every morning.
Almost, yeah.
But I also want it where you could have it as a local, if you have the key, that you could have the ability to go and enjoy yourself and leave your car overnight because that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And so you go out and have fun. You take your Uber home. You come back in the morning, pick up your car, and you don't have this big charge. I think it's important because it's supporting the businesses within the resorts. And I think we'll get there. We'll get there.
No, that's
The whole safety
and
thing,
I
too.
think the more data you have, the more you're going to be able to present that stuff, and it becomes viable because, yes, I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of studies to show how much locals spend on the Strip versus how much they don't spend, and then you'll see an increase. Like I do go to the Strip often because I'm either entertaining guests or clients when they're coming into town, but I also live in Chinatown, so I'm very close to it, and it's easy in proximity for me. I do have the little hacks.
Wolf and Sparrow's on our list, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Hey, we're supposed to go there.
Pumped.
Yeah.
Super pumped.
So I there's actually 2 other places over in that area that I'd love to intro you to.
I love it.
Yep.
Golden
Yep.
Tiki's there too.
Yep. Golden Tiki.
That's like a classic. I
Yep.
love it.
That's
I
a
love
great
it.
one. And then there's a really cool spot. This is a little different. It's called Taru Sushi, and it's right there in the same. It's in the same building as Sparrow and Wolf.
Okay.
But it's just a few doors down.
Sounds like we gotta go for sushi.
So they don't do the whole all you can eat. They do it's great. It's
Yeah, I
great
like
quality. Everything.
I don't trust all you can eat sushi.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, I'm saying it right now. Sushi, all you can eat. There's something wrong with that. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's not good.
Yeah.
It can't be good. It's impossible.
It's.
I mean, if you're
okay.
comparing to
Yeah.
like omakase,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Because there are some places that I think lean in too much into the hype of
Right.
everyone trying to try real sushi.
Yeah.
But it's not now. It's like $500.
Right.
You know, because I was part of that whole foodie culture, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And some of my favorite places back in Orange County, after the whole foodie creator scene, influencer scene goes through, like you can't even get in anymore.
Right.
And I feel that some locals here have issues with certain restaurants to where they're secretly like, please don't blow this place up because this is like my spot. And now there's going to
Yeah.
be a bunch of people with
true.
cameras.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. at the
Influencers.
club." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like, you can't even get a fucking spot at your favorite restaurant.
We just added Wakuda, and they have an omakase there, and you get priority placements. So you get priority reservations, and you also get a bonus from the chef. I met the chef; he's phenomenal.
That's great.
He's going to put
Chef
it like
Okuda.
directly in my mouth.
He might put it directly in your mouth. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, maybe.
So when you curate that, you go through that experience with them
Yes.
and figure out what that is. That's very
And we
cool.
onboard each place. So, and before we even approach them, part of our process, I guess I didn't explain that, but part of our process is actually going and seeing the place. So after we get the reco, we go in and actually start talking and experiencing. Okay, is this on a level that should be on the key? Like,
Yeah.
And once we do that, and the business is really like that too, where they're like, you're taking time to test us out, and my response is, how do I market you if I don't know what you do?
Yeah.
So you have to go in.
Yeah, and then you can figure out what that edge or what that
Yep.
that special thing is.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Like
That's
you go in
sometimes
as a
you see
normal
it. Sometimes
person.
you see it, you're like, oh, that would be a really cool perk. That'd
Yeah.
be really cool. And they wouldn't have thought I wouldn't have thought of it if you weren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and there's lots
Right.
of little things like that, right? There's all the little things where it's like you light the skull on fire, chocolate or whatever, and smash the head. There's all those little things like that
Yep.
that are cool.
Attention to detail sells. It's,
Right.
it's an
It is.
emotional factor that people want to
Yeah.
experience. You know, they want something that's just a little bit different than
Yes.
something they can pay somewhere else. And I think that's
Yeah.
the conversation I had with Tim too. I was like, tell me more why this is the thing that we connected on. Is like this stuck out to me and it still resonates with me. You're like, it's not pretentious.
That's right.
That's very important.
It's
'cause-
approachable. It's approachable VIP, and everyone asks me, "Why aren't you charging more?" And it's still they're saying I'm not charging enough. But I'm like, it's important that you set a price, that it's a fair price to keep. I'm trying to make sure that we get the right people getting the key, not in a pretentious kind of way, but I want them to use it.
Yeah.
And so if they're not wanting to use the key that much, and they're not willing to pay that, and they don't want to go to our socials, then I don't want you coming on the program. I don't want you to have the key.
So there's
I'm willing to say no to. I'm fine with that.
I'm a super fan of psychology, community, all that stuff, right? Read a ton of books. I've helped build different types of community of different access
Yeah.
and things like that. There's ways and there's ideas to do that. One is the kind of like the get one, give one. It's like you ask somebody the question like, hey, if you could only give a key to one person, who would it be? Because that narrows down.
Yes.
Because a lot of people like, oh yeah, tell all your friends. Like,
Yes.
this isn't an ego thing. Like I know thousands of people
Yeah.
from all different communities. All the work that I've done with veterans and all that stuff. I have all of these different groups of people in big cities where I'm on boards for different things, and I just know a lot of people. So when somebody says, "Oh, if you can think of anybody," I'm like, my brain goes to mush.
Of course.
But if you're like, if there's only one person that you could give this key to, who would it be? and then that really kind of like helps them. Then they say, here's what this key means to me.
Agreed.
And then in definition of that, I think this is the only person that I would give it to you. And it does keep that kind of like, it keeps a cool factor to it.
Agreed.
And it does keep it a little bit more exclusive, but you're getting an extension of the people that already have it.
Agreed.
So.
No,
that's
100%.
super meaningful too, and it's more intentional that way.
Oh yeah. And the other resistance point that we had, and I guess when you asked about resistance, I didn't think of it. You know, we have a 1%, maybe 2% of our audience that have said, you know, when are you going to replace the key with like a virtual version? I want to mention this because it's kind of funny. My biggest thing when we started this in Toronto, I realized, my God, we're sort of typecasted because we're stuck in this physical thing that we've created. That if we go to a digital version we're just like everybody else. Now we're just like another app.
Now you're just an app.
And everyone's got apps.
What was it called? I can't find it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I never want to do that because I think the key's really cool and it's still talk worthy in Toronto 10 years later. So I know this has longevity, but we tell the people the same thing now. It's like physicality is important to touch things. One of the things I've learned through this, through doing it so long, is that people still like to touch things. And I think we're missing that in society.
Very tactile right here.
There's so many examples of that where people want, and especially in this world of what you've created here. High five, by the way. What you've created here, like, that is the essence of human experience that we all crave. There's so many things where people try to eliminate and remove that. It's just like you could say, oh, yeah, I want my life to be easier. But then you call a restaurant, and if you can tell it's an AI bot that's talking to you, you hang up.
Immediately.
Or you push 0 because you're like, I want to talk to a live
I think
human.
people are optimizing too much now, where they lean into the inauthenticity of, like, they're losing the human touch.
Oh, yeah.
But the joke about, you know, Chinatown and some people that comes here, they're like, oh, what's the best, like, Asian restaurant to go to? I'm like, call them. If somebody yells at you, the food's probably good.
Yeah.
And they're like, no fucking way. I'm like, if it sounds like a proper spoken English person, it's probably new and it's probably fusion.
Totally
But there's an angry man or woman, like, kind of like, you know, shouting at, yes, we're open. Like, it's probably fucking legit. You know? So that's like the stress test of how we're going back to, like, the fundamentals of how towns are ran and how people want to be treated. You know, and then the same concepts, like, you can optimize and use AI and do all these fancy things and build your businesses around systems and processes all you want. But at the end of the day, I'm like, is my food going to be good or is it going to be overpriced?
To your point, and to this whole mantra of keeping this physical and touching and such, you have to stay true to you. So I've learned to say it's okay to have someone tell me that I won't buy it if it's not a virtual. I'm like, that's okay. You're not my key holder. I'm okay with that. And they end up buying the key anyway. Later, but you know, now how it is. But some of them have definitely been very firm. Like, why aren't you putting it in the wallet version? I'm like, if we do that, it just loses its luster. There's nothing really cool about it. And what's that worth to me? So, and to be honest, we have some people that they'll reach out to us and say, you know, I forgot my key. What can I do? I'm like, don't forget your key next time.
I'd like that. That was going to be my next question. What happens if somebody forgets it, or if they lose it? Yeah, or if they lose it. Yeah.
So attached, I should show them. It actually acts as a keychain itself.
Perfect.
We are getting creative, though. One of the things I've realized, although we're not going to replace it with a digital version in the foreseeable future, we do understand the need for giving them options. So we're coming up with a chain partnership where there'll be a wearable option. And there's also one where we're creating a back of a phone that'll be molded to the key that'll hold behind your phone inside, which will be really smart.
So different vessels of the key. Gotcha.
Well, it's still be the same key, but exactly. Something to hold it.
Yeah. Interesting. That's cool.
I like that vessel. Yes, I'm going to use that. Steal that.
Steal it.
But we do also know that there's value.
I'm just kidding. It's 42.
At least,
42%.
At least. But that being said, we do have an amazing mobile app, and people are giving us accolades for that. So the mobile app actually it's for navigation purposes and tying in, obviously, our concierge, which is built in. So it'll actually ping your phone when you're near spots and remind you to use it throughout the year. I don't know if she told you that, but it's a lot of fun.
I didn't tell him anything.
Yeah, I saved it. I was like, I'm going to grill this guy.
I just like to lead him into the dark and shoot and see what happens.
So it's helpful. You can choose by area, you can choose by genre, category, and then, like I said, you'll be driving along and there'll be a nice ping that'll go, hey, there's a perk waiting for you over here. Did you know? And we programmed it so it won't annoy you. That was also a delicate balance of how do you make it useful and not annoy people.
Like not a bunch of push notifications to where
it'd be cool if it sounded like a door unlocking.
There you go.
It's actually a doorbell.
Cool. It was,
I like that.
It was the one that we came
love
up
that.
with, but it seems to catch your attention, but not annoy them.
Yeah.
So a lot of thought goes into this stuff. You have to make sure
Yeah.
you're not getting annoying. But yeah, people are really digging it. That's what we hear the most about is the app as well, the socials, is that they're like, I actually like that you remind me because people forget. You buy something and you forget. But you won't get another notification for that place for like 2 weeks. It's scripted in. The idea is that you don't get annoyed.
Wow,
That's really cool.
There's a lot of thought that goes
There's a lot of
into
thought.
your
It's
UX
a
because
lot
you
of
care
thought.
about the person
Oh, yeah.
using it. Not like how much more messaging you can push to them because we have so much data and so much things
Right.
coming at us every single day that we have to consume on and off social media.
Right.
So I'm kind of glad this model kind of takes a step back and
And
cares.
if you turn off notifications, I've now lost the ability to reach you, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it's
turn
really
my stuff off
delicate.
sometimes.
Yep.
But I think this my favorite thing about it is the curiosity aspect behind
Yeah.
it. Kind of like you go down the
The
rabbit
physical
hole.
part,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're kind of like, okay, like
Yeah.
what should I be anticipating, you know? And it just creates that childlike wonder when you go to places and you just
Yeah.
like, you know, instead of feeling like walking in, it's like, oh yeah, I own this place, but it's like,
No,
know?
it's like a subtle royalty.
love it.
Subtle royalty.
Yeah.
and I love that
Yeah,
part.
that's great.
Yeah.
So a couple questions because
Please.
I'm not going to pick apart the model. I
Love it.
I would imagine there's other ways that you guys can monetize and grow, or even partnerships and things like that. Cool. Here's the real question is going to be for the data that you get from people using this kind of stuff. What do you see as the opportunity there? To create different partnerships in other avenues, like as you do get this, really rocking and rolling in the next year or two.
It's a great question. Right now, it's on a kind of like a slide and do your thing. In the new future version, which is coming up next year in the early part, there'll actually be a check-in process where you'll tap your key or they'll check it in with the code in the back, the 5-digit code. And we're then going to be able to serve up content essentially to people where they like to go. So now we'll know that, you like Dave likes to play darts and he likes drinking old fashions. So the idea is that now we can then go back and say, okay, let's make sure we get some restaurants that come on that this guy will like or this group will like. And now when we send you notifications, they'll be tailored to what you like. And although you'll still get other notifications, it's like you'll be told what's really hot and what you like.
Yeah.
Based on your user behavior. I mean, we don't sell our data either, so that was important to say.
I was going to ask
keep
that
that
next.
super. We don't even at that point. We're not even drilling down. We just want to know where they're going, and the key code will basically be tied in with where you're going, and then we can send you relevant stuff.
That's cool.
You can always opt out. That's important too.
Do you get a lot of like user generated content based off of this model and people partnering with you online?
Yeah, we get a lot. Well, yeah, people are always sharing the keys. I love it. One of our rules when we were giving them to people that were celebrities or, I don't know, I don't like the word influencer. And like other people, we've never, ever asked for someone to post about our product. To me, it was like, if you like it, you'll post about it. If you don't like it, I'm okay too. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get anyone like. Everyone likes it. But but the people that like it, they either post or they don't, and I'm okay with that. And if we gave you a key because you were deemed a great influencer, and we are picky on that, by the way. Like I said, I've been very blessed that most of them have actually posted on their own, and they just felt the need to share, and I love that.
That's cool.
That's the best marketing.
Yeah, you keep it organic. Yeah. What did we say? Or
The best marketing's the truth.
best marketing is the truth.
Yep. And it's funny, just thinking psychologically, when you tell someone you owe me a post because I gave you something, then they're going to treat it like a job.
Yeah.
Whereas if you give them something and say, I just think you're cool, and that's why you're getting a key is because I like you and I like your audience, like Heather. And you give them a key, and if they like it, they end up posting more because they're like, well, I just like it.
Yeah.
This isn't a job. He doesn't. I don't owe him anything, and you don't. You don't. It's
That's
important.
true.
It's
That's such a
important.
good way to pay it forward and building goodwill at the same time in business. And we talk a lot about community building on this show and just how we do business in real life. It becomes less transactional and people actually trust you more the less you ask from them and the less you expect from people because it removes that and everyone can breathe and just like be,
and it's tacky.
be their self.
Asking someone to post about you, I just think it's tacky. It just feels awful.
Yeah, very true. So as we start to wrap, what do you see a little bit more on the community side? Because you've seen it very quickly. High five on everything that you've accomplished because Everyone tackles this city kind of at their own pace. I feel like you really dug in quickly.
Oh, yeah.
You and you probably felt this, right? As soon as you start getting, this is my favorite thing about this city and almost every other city. No one wants to be first,
You're
but
right.
everybody wants to be next.
Yes.
So as soon as you started
Yes.
getting some of those first
Yes.
people to say yes,
Yes.
it made it easier.
You're right.
But so what challenge do you see? What do you see as the biggest challenge here in the Las Vegas community from your perspective here in the next 2 years?
I have to keep to my motto and the rules around the program that we created to keep that scarcity. It's another reason why I don't charge restaurants and partners, because we look at it like I don't want incentives to make me based on money to go and do something that would be against that.
Yeah.
So if you, for instance, if you were being paid by all your venues, you would add more venues because you want to make more money.
Yeah.
So I've kept that out of the way, and that makes it a true decision. So I have clear head. My biggest obstacle, I think, is going to be keeping the scarcity. And I know I'll do it, but I know I'm going to have temptation where you're going to be like, maybe we up it to like 10,000 keys.
Yeah.
Because I can make a lot more money.
Yeah.
Naturally, right? So my hope is that, and I believe I will, is to keep the scarcity. I think that's important. That will be my biggest challenge because I'm human. And I'm a businessman, and I love business, and I love Las Vegas, and I'd love to get my key into more people's hands. But at the same point, I know the value of scarcity.
I love that. And then the next question would be, if you could wave a magic wand, what's one thing that you think would really be impactful here in the community?
The parking and pool pass, for sure, for sure. And the socials, I'm really excited about the socials. The socials are just so much fun. Anyone who has a key that's been to a social knows. But you'll learn now, so you'll have to come to one of our socials, by the way. You're both obviously invited now.
I love it.
You have to have a key to come, and you can bring a +1, which has actually helped us build our network.
Yeah.
And I love it because friends bring that one friend that you can think of, who is worthy to come. And it's great, and it's awesome. So you build it slower, but you build it right. So that's kind of what our motto is. But yeah, events are going to be a big push. Obviously, enhancing some of the benefits. I'm always looking to make them more unique and cool. I think we have amazing partners and amazing benefits already, but we always want to keep adding new spots. And
one thing I didn't ask, and I'm thinking about it now because as soon as we start talking about pizza, it's like countdown to Pizza Expo.
Pizza, by the way, I need a pizza place.
Yeah. What will there be any kind of crossover and collaboration with the conferences and stuff that come through?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, we're actually actively working with conference groups that have reached out, and we've reached out to some as well. LBCVA is actually a partner.
Cool.
They actually got some of our first keys for their best clients. It was really cool to have them do that. There was a supporting of our business, but it also put it in the right hands. And some of these conference planners coming into the city, they're looking at our key just like local businesses. We actually have we have a car dealership now, a high-end car dealership, a couple brokerages.
You just slide this key in and go take a Range
take
Rover
that
out for the
car
day.
over there.
Well, that's definitely in the plan, but they're reaching out trying to buy keys for their recognition gifting program for their own executives and for their best clients.
Interesting.
Which is where this is turning.
That's
So
cool.
it's actually really cool. So that's where the conferences I see happening is that a certain percentage of our keys are going to go to the higher level tickets. So a $5,000 ticket might get you this key when you arrive. So that's where I see this going.
Cool.
But then, there's a part of me that thinks we have to create a special edition key that's only available, that they can only use for that
a
week
corporate.
they're here.
Yeah.
And that way it expires and doesn't ruin my scarcity.
Yeah, I have some ideas.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
I have some ideas.
I love it. I love it.
I love the expiration
cool.
part.
But the recognition gifting has been really big, and that's where the conferences we're starting to see. But like I said, it's crazy. We have a car dealership buying 100 keys, and we just had a brokerage buy 50. It's very interesting. It's cool.
I love that.
No,
Awesome.
I love everything that you're bringing to this town, like the personality, like the
Thank you.
vibe.
I just love that.
It's very authentic. And at first, I was telling Dave, I was like, dude, he's Canadian.
I honestly view this as my home now. It was funny. Some
love
friends
that.
back home, they're like, what do you mean you're going back home? I'm like, oh, did I say that?
Yeah.
I guess that's
Nice.
actually
It's
happening.
official. Nice.
I guess it's happening.
Nice.
I'm like, shoot.
Oh my God, he's one of us.
I've got some flack. I'll tell you. I've got some friends back home who are like, are you trading? I'm like, I really like Vegas, but I do love Toronto summers better than Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm saying it loud. I really do.
And that's okay.
It's too
You
hot.
can
I
escape
can't
the
handle
heat
hot.
for a couple
yeah,
months.
I can't handle it.
I have never been to Canada, so we might have
guess
to
we're gonna have
go on a
to.
You
field
have to
trip.
come. You have to come.
I know one person in Canada.
Guess we're gonna
Now
have
you
to jump
know
in
too.
his suitcase.
Yeah, now I know
or something.
too. Yeah. No, that's great. Very cool.
And it's funny. That's the one last thing I'll say is that since I've been here, because it's winter in Vegas, I'm out there with a t-shirt or whatever, even just like a long sleeve shirt. But I never wear a jacket, even back home. So in Canada, I don't wear a jacket either. I'm weird. I don't feel cold. But yeah, it's funny when people stop me and just go, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Like at F1, it was like everyone had their parkas and their toques, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm in a t-shirt, and there's a guy literally bundled up with a scarf and the whole enchilada. He's like,
That's funny.
he's like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good."
You're like, this is nothing, bro.
Yeah.
They touch my arm, some of them. They're like, "Oh, you don't even have goosebumps." I'm like, "I'm not cold. This is like nothing. I love this."
You're like, you should try like -20 where I'm from.
Yeah, try to -20, -40. Forget about that.
So how can people find you and where can they connect?
By the way, love the studio. I love you guys. I
Yeah.
want to say that. You guys, honestly, I love it. I love the theme. I think it's important to get. I like that.
Well,
It's
we might have to make it a prerequisite. Anybody that wants to be on the show has to have a key.
I like that. I like that
No,
thinking.
we're
Because I know you're going to be picky on your
super
guests.
We have been.
And you're picky
have
on your
been.
guests, which I like. That's important.
We're super excited for this partnership with you, and we're excited for all the things that we're actually going to do together and the vision that we have for this town. So I'm just super excited. Now I feel like Dave. Because he starts the show being excited.
By the way, this is only one of like their many studios, but it's gorgeous. You have to see this. It's cool.
So some of our partners, just like this studio, you can kind of see the vision that we have to bring good people together. And we're, what you said, like you got to grow it slow. Yeah. But just keep it impactful,
100%.
Slow, it's good.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Now I have one more curious thing. So, are you a fan of like personal professional development books? Are you reading anything, or have you read anything that has kind of been like inspiration behind all this?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I don't read.
That's okay.
I read.
That's okay.
I read. It sounds so stupid. I do read. I read. I read articles every day. I read. I read things that are to me what I find interesting. But I don't. I never read books.
Okay.
It's kind of strange. I know I've had books handed to me. I look like that guy. I even have 2 books on my coffee table that look like I read. Nice. Everyone's like, "Oh, did you read that?" I'm like, "No."
Like,
I'm eventually going to read it. I don't know. I get a lot of angst in me. Like I need to move. I'm not good at sitting down somewhere too long.
Yeah.
So books have never worked for me. Audiobooks I like.
I dig audiobooks too. Yeah.
So I have done a couple of those.
Okay. Cool. I love it.
I just can't.
Yeah,
sit
we
down
might
too
have
long.
to compare notes because again, there's definitely something fascinating what you've created here.
Appreciate
I
that.
love seeing it. I love seeing how it's
a shower
sprawled
scene,
out.
by the way.
What's that?
It was a shower scene.
Was it?
That's how I came up with the idea.
I love it.
It's an hour and a half shower.
Only there was a key. Yeah.
It started with a card. Going into the shower, I was going to create a card. And this was back in 2014. And I'm like, I'm going to create this card. And it's going to be like, they're going to want this card. It's going to be really cool. It's going to unlock all these things. And then I'm like, wait a minute. 20 minutes in the shower, I'm like, who the hell's going to buy a card? Cards are so obsolete and stupid and annoying and boring. Everyone's got cards.
Yeah.
How do I do this different? And then it was a plastic key. And by the end of the shower, I was like, I need a metal key with a chip inside. And we got to create an app around it. And anyway, it was wild.
I love it.
Longest shower ever. My bill was insane. It was worth it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely worth it. Where can people find you and how can they connect?
Yeah, it's key.vegas. So www.key.vegas.
Look at that. We got
Even a cool name.
pursue.vegas. So,
Okay, I didn't even know
Official
that.
partners.
We'll roll
with
that.
the Vegas.
You know what?
That's great.
We're
Key.vegas. There it is.
Are you finding that happens? Because I'm getting that a lot where they're like, some people, even in Vegas, don't know it exists.
Yeah.
And when I give them my email, which is tim@key.vegas,
Yep.
if you ever want to reach out, I'm open book. I can answer anything you want. But they'll go, .com as well in the end. I'm like, no, .vegas.
It's so funny because I saw it on a banner, like a banner ad a year ago. They're like, .vegas is ready. And I'm like, pfft.
Sound like a scam.
And then
Yeah.
and then whenever we started putting this together, I'm like, I'm getting that .vegas.
Yes, darn right. Darn right.
Yeah, so
even on forms, I filled out forms. Like I had an insurance form I had to fill out, and it's hilarious. I put my email address, and the system, the coding behind it, still doesn't recognize it as a valid email.
Yeah,
they'll go, "That's not a valid email address." I'm like, "No, it is."
Yep.
But the system says no, it has to be a .com. It's bizarre.
I'm glad to have a shorter because I have Dave at pursue.vegas, and then we have podcast at pursue.vegas. But my personal brand for the longest time was davemeansbusiness.com. And it's
You have to use it
so
sometimes.
clever, and everyone's like, "Ooh, I like that," but
like it
try
too.
writing it out. It sucks. They never leave enough room.
It's long.
So yeah.
It's tricky, but yeah, no, that's the fun thing, and we're going to other cities. So that as we grow, I should mention that other cities as we grow this, you can use.
Yeah,
the key.
what's your expansion?
Oh,
Vegas key
you
can
can
be used in Toronto,
this-
Montreal.
What?
When you travel.
Hold on.
I guess I
blown.
left something out.
So now that changes the cities where you
That
might
was
be
such
going.
a cliffhanger.
Yeah, you-
Such a
I'd have a
fucking-
cliffhanger, right?
Oh my god.
now you're changing where you might be going because we may have some interest in other communities, my friend.
Okay, I like it. And we even tie them. So we have Plaza Premium lounges across North America for the airport lounges.
Yeah.
And we have the Club LAS in Vegas. So we have Terminal 1 and 3.
Cool.
But we're trying to tie it all in. And we have a concierge service. So we actually book your 5-star hotels for you and experiences and tickets through our back end. And you get bonuses like early check-in, late checkout, complimentary breakfast in the mornings, bonus credits. It's
my
crazy.
God.
I gotta know, and this is gonna show my TikTok world. Does this also get me Amalfi Jets?
No, but
He's like, no, Dave.
but
you know what I'm talking about.
But I'm going to name them because we've got a good relationship with them. Cirrus Aviation's about to launch Theos. It's a private jet service from the West Coast, I think they're starting with. And seats will be $1,100, but you can buy your seat or multiple seats on a private jet and not take the whole jet. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you'd fly out of the Strip because it's not the Strip right there.
That's cool.
So anyway, we're in talks with them, and that is probably going to be on there very soon. So
All right.
I
Should
say
we talk?
probably
Should we have
'cause
Austin on the show to
Austin
talk about
should
it
come on.
next?
I love Austin. I love that
Is
you
that
know
is that
Austin.
one your
Yes,
person?
Austin. That's
Okay.
Austin. Austin's the
I
man.
can't text him. I don't have my contact.
yeah.
I'll figure it out.
I'll share his contact.
Thank you.
He'll be
I was like,
okay
wait
with
a
that.
minute.
He'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I was
Austin's
like,
a great
wait.
guy.
Just be like Tanya lost her contact. He's got figures.
Austin Fuentes. He's cool. Very cool.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on the
Thank
show,
you for
man.
having me.
Excited to
Thank
see
you for
how
having
this turns out, and really just the incredible people that we're going to get to eat a lot of incredible food with.
I want to. Yeah, I'd love to know how it works when you use it. That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, guys, that's it for us today. So you know how to reach Dave and I on Instagram mainly, LinkedIn, all over the place. Please reach out to Tim. He's exactly as he is in person. He's a squirrel on cocaine.
I'm a wildcat.
He hasn't had any caffeine. And if you haven't done so, please check out the website and get yourself a key, and we'll see you there.